What's going on, everybody? This is Chris Classic dropping a car vlog of you guys and gals and having a wonderful Sunday morning. Nobody tells you that God loves you, Christ loves you, and I love you as well. I know some of you guys are going to church. Yeah, at times, say a prayer for me. If you're spending time with God, say a prayer. Just say that you love God. You know, that is my main thing. Is just as long as people have a great relationship with God in Christ, we understand, we read the Word, and we be open to it. We understand that good and bad things happen. We understand that trials and tribulations happen, and we understand that sometimes people do not treat us the best way. And sometimes we are tested, and these are things that we disagree with and stuff like that, and we want to understand everything. But I don't think that we are mentally equipped to handle a lot of the things. So I love you guys, and always remember that. Make sure you subscribe to the Take It Home podcast, where I talk about professional wrestling topics. And I put my Matches Classic out for a professional wrestler of 13 years. Make sure you also subscribe to C3 Ultimate Wrestling. That is me and my wife's professional wrestling company. We have all our matches from previous shows since 2019 available to watch and enjoy on a playlist on that YouTube channel as we're getting ready for next year, February 21st, 2026. Big Business, BIG Business in Dyer, Indiana, Harold's private venue. Tickets are on sale now on Eventbrite. They're $5 off on Eventbrite, but there'll be $5 more at the door. Bars. Social media is a platform that promote. Some use it as their journal. Some people vlog, like I'm doing. Some people communicate with people. Some people make $1 million deals. Some people make many penny deals. It's just what it is with social media. A lot of people use it for their opinions on certain things or stating facts. Some people go to war on social media. Some people say something and then they apologize and all of that. There's benefits and there's negative benefits. As a wrestler, you should definitely pay attention and watch out what you do post on your social media. Now, people are going to say, what's going on, Mr. Meow? People are going to say, oh, well, freedom of speech, free speech. Yeah, it's freedom of speech, but there's still a price to pay. It's definitely a price to pay. When we say freedom of speech, it means not getting arrested for your speech and what you're saying. And even then, that's still convoluted too, because if it's a threat or something, you're going to jail now. So still, very important to understand that. Now, I've been on social media longer than I've been arrested. I am not afraid to post how I feel about certain things, certain situations, and even certain wrestlers and stuff like that. I don't say it as a flex. I just think that sometimes you have to hold yourself accountable to anything that you say. I've defended wrestlers online. I've disagreed with people's takes. I've listened to what people said. I've done this a lot. I've done a lot of it. And with that, what's going on, Matthew? I still say be careful about what you post. Even if a wrestling company did you wrong, let's say 5 wrestling companies did you wrong. If you get online and post 5 times about the companies that did you wrong, sometimes people are going to be like, well, you are the problem. They're going to be like, well, you must have been the problem. You had to have been the problem because it's 5 companies. Now, I think about that, but at the same time, I do think that that's a little crazy that like sometimes people don't know every nook and cranny and they're like, okay, well, you must be the problem. And sometimes people are the problem. See, that's the thing too. Sometimes people are the problem. And that's the thing with social media is it's like, you know, sometimes it's a give and take. And sometimes you get more than you're taking. Sometimes they take more than you're giving. It's just one of those things. So still, that's why you have to be careful about what you post and stuff like that. Sometimes companies will do you wrong. I have had companies that have done me wrong, and I may have made a post or something, but I didn't really like go and clear the air or whatever like that. Sometimes you just got to move on. It's just one of those things. Just because social media is there doesn't mean that you have to use it and you have to utilize it. You get what I'm saying? Because there are a lot of wrestlers, even like popular wrestlers, that go on social media and they either bashing other wrestlers or they're talking about other companies, and then they're burning a bridge that they could probably never repair and go over. Like, I understand being loyal to your company that you work for and not like bashing them, but at the same time, you just got to be careful because that is the price to pay. Some people know they're never going back, so they're going to say F this company and F that company, but still, what's going on? What's going on? That's very, very important. You know, some use social media to over promote the company and stuff like that. And I understand trying to say your company is the best company in the world, but when we see the nooks and crannies and we see a lot of the stuff and the water slipping through the cracks, I don't think that's a good idea to do that. Like Ricochet. Ricochet is a great company man for AEW. You know, he's always online, and honestly, it helps. I think him online helps him and also messes him up, because I do think that sometimes he doesn't need to go on social media and air his opinion. Now, he's a grown man. He can do whatever he wants. But still, like even, last night he won the national championship from AEW with another belt. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I mean, he's a decent wrestler, and, you know, and obviously he sticks up for AEW. Tony likes those kind of people that's online that sticks up for AEW and stuff like that. But some people are looking at him like, Ricochet, you're just saying that because you couldn't make it in WWE. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that, because Ricochet decided to leave WWE. They actually wanted to keep him. And we're looking at some of the speculations for some people is they wanted to give them less money in their contract, and they probably wanted them to do other things. So to each their own, but still. My name is, what is your name? My name is Isa. My name is Chris. Nice to meet you, Isa. What's going on, everybody in the chat? But yeah, there are consequences. Yeah, you can have free speech and still have consequences for saying certain things and doing certain things. But that's like up to you or whatever like that. I do think that, like me, with my social media channel and my page on Facebook, I do speak a lot about certain things I don't like about wrestling. And I also carry that burden that, like, some people may not book me because they may feel like I attacked either one of their wrestlers or I attacked their product. And that's just not the case, but it is what it is. I've had people talk to me and be like, hey, we about to do this, don't say nothing. And it's jokes, but at the same time, you still side-eye. You're like, oh, okay, you think I'm always going to say something. What I say, I don't really complain. I give my opinion, and sometimes I do inform. Even on this channel, I also inform. But still, I think social media is definitely something that you just got to be careful with. Me as a promoter, wrestling, right? What I post on that channel is very, very important. If people know that I run a show and I run the show with my wife and stuff like that, that's also very important. What she said, who we are images of that company too. People are like, oh, okay, well, you can differentiate this and that, and you can only do it to a certain extent. God forbid something happens. Now my name is on that, and my name is also in the company that me and my wife run. You get what I'm saying? It's more to it than that. And I know a lot of people be like, oh, well, my job let me go because they found my social media links, my link trees, and all of that stuff, and they shouldn't have did that. I'm like, well, if it's open to the public, of course, you still represent that company. You still represent the company. Like, you got your own thing, you got your own rights, obviously, but you still represent that company. So what you say and what you post and stuff like that, that can be bad. Which is weird to me, because a lot of these teachers and stuff, they have OFs and all that. And they're very provocative on their TikToks and stuff. And it's like, did y'all do background checks before y'all hired these people? Like, what's going on? Not saying these people who do SW can't be good teachers, but still, that's like the images. And kids nowadays, they have so much access to social media that they can definitely find stuff. I mean, even my son, like, he found like pictures, not my son, but his class, they found pictures of one of the teachers that was online. Like, come on now, Mystery Machine Gang, like, what's going on? But still, going back into it, it is very important about how you carry yourself, especially if you are a wrestler that is trying to get booked at other spots and stuff like that. It's very, very, very important to be like, hey, I need to, like, you know, make sure I'm somewhat professional. Now, if you have your own preferences with certain things and how you live your life and stuff like that, obviously that's your choice and that's between you and God. But some companies and some people do look at those kind of situations too. And sometimes it ain't even the fact that you chose a side, it's just the fact of how you said it and how you post and what you post and stuff like that. So as a wrestler and almost anybody, you definitely have to be careful about what you post on social media and what you say about social media. Because even if, like I said, I'm going to bring it back, even if 5 companies did you wrong, if you go online and speak for the 5th time about the 5th company, people are going to assume that it's you. Now, that's the thing. The assumption is the big part. That's the gray area in the situation. You know what I'm saying? So always be careful when it comes to those kind of things. Like, you got to be careful with these. So social media is definitely one of those things. Like I said, you can benefit and then you can also damage. You can also damage and benefit. It's got to be very, very careful about those kind of things when it comes to social media and stuff. And I say this as a wrestler and as a promoter to future wrestlers and even people who probably post a lot on social media. It's a very dangerous game. It's a very dangerous game when it comes to social media platforms and stuff like that. I know a lot of people who have platforms and stuff like that, they just be saying stuff. And sometimes people do be outside. Wrestlers, fighters, anybody, you have to be careful, because sometimes people just be saying stuff. Oh, I don't like this person, and then y'all start bringing up personal stuff. Like, that's a big no-no. Like, don't bring up people's personal life. Don't do this and that. You calling people out their name, and then they'll pull up, and then you be like, oh, I'm sorry. Most of the time, that's what it's looking like. Almost every time somebody pulls up on somebody talking bad about them as far as social media, it's apologies, or I want to take a picture, or I didn't mean it, or stuff like that. Even that, just trying to go for clout. Gotta be careful. But I didn't want to speak about that for a little bit. I'm almost at work. But yeah, social media is definitely one of those things. You know, what I do as a wrestler and also as a person, I post a lot of stuff. Y'all know I love God, so I post about God. You know, I love wrestling. I post about wrestling. I love my family. I talk about that. I talk about my friends. I crack jokes. I do all of that stuff. But I try not to be negative. You know, negative is also subjective to whoever it is. You know, who I rock with you may not rock with, and you may have a problem with that. But hopefully it's all good. But I did want to speak about that for a little bit. I'm on the way. Almost at work. So I hope you guys and gals have a great day. This is Chris Classic. Let's take it home.